What's up, everybody? My name is T-Quay, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are starting the first real episode of my Sui Lalo guide, aka How Do You Sui. Now, this is going to be a bit more than just me teaching you how to Sui. It's going to be me teaching you what to Sui, showing you some examples of bases that I've hit, and showing you what I did right, what I could have done better, and why I did what I did. So, I hope that this makes it a little bit easier for you to start the Sui and a Sui Lalo attack. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to just hit me up on any means of communication you have with me. And if you don't, comment and I'll do my best to help you. So with that being said, let's get into the first attack. I did CWL with some of my Australian friends and against the grain on my main account, and I had an okay run. I went 4 for 7, 3 of my triples were Lalo. So with that, what base did I hit? Let's start at this base. So, when you do a Sui, there are two basic fundamentals of what you want to do. A, the more important one, you want to set good Lalo pathing around the base, which I'll elaborate on in a bit. And the second, which is more straightforward, is get a target of high value. Usually that involves the Town Hall, the enemy Archer Queen, enemy Royal Champion, Eagle Artillery, Scattershot, Infernos, air defenses, sweepers, that type of shit. And one other thing that I do sometimes, but is definitely something I would advise you starting, is try to avoid the clan castle on your Sui, because if it's a lava hound that comes outside, it can pretty much remove your queen from the equation, which has made countless Suis of mine fail. So avoid the clan castle for starts. But basically, if you look at this base, when you're deciding about good Lalo pathing, the one thing that you want to look for is defenses in particular. None of the other buildings matter, just defenses, because that is what balloons targets. The thing about balloons is they deal a lot of damage, but they're really slow and they're really squishy. To counteract the fact that they have low health, that's why we got the Lava Hounds, or Ice Hounds, as well as the Stone Slammer. And to counteract their speed, we got haste spells and occasionally rage spells. And then freeze spells, you also use those to help, what's it called? Just trying to get the word. Help freeze the defenses that destroy your balloons. Sorry, y'all, it's early. It's 10:30 a.m., so for a lot of y'all, you're probably like, come on, look at this lazy cunt. But it's early for me, don't sweat it. But that being said, let's get to this base. So deciding good Lalo pathing is you want to cut the ring of defenses to where you got kind of like an L shape for your balloons to fly around. And then you also don't want to go straight into an air sweeper because those things are dangerous. So with that in mind, if you look at this base, to cut the ring, you can really Sui anywhere because it's just a straight easy ring. So you want to Sui so when you look at, you can cut the ring anywhere. Now you want to think, okay, I want to Sui at an angle that would make it so where I can Lalo without having to go into an air sweeper, which that leaves two opportunities. Let me think about it. That they're really, because this base is easy, as long as you get one air sweeper on your Sui, because of the way the ring is set up, you can automatically fly behind the other one. So let's look at the opportunities for getting each air sweeper. If you Sui starting in at this Eagle, you can get the enemy Archer Queen, enemy Scattershot, Eagle Artillery, and then this shit, which is pretty good value. And then you can start your Lalo through here. And that would work pretty well. It's not the best option, but it's probably the second best. Say that you were to go down from here to get this air sweeper along with the Royal Champion, Inferno Tower, Scattershot, and then maybe the air defenses. You can still fly through here, around here, behind this sweeper, but you would start on the enemy Archer Queen, which makes this a slightly better path than the one before, which is, spoiler alert, the path I wound up doing. But, for fuck's sake, let's just look at the other options too. If you were to Sui into this compartment to knock out this air sweeper, you could theoretically Lalo all the way through here, but that would be more difficult than the other two options because you would have to fight through both Scattershots and both enemy air targeting heroes. So while that could technically work in theory, it's not the most, It's not the most efficient option. And then say that we wanted to Sui from up here to get this air sweeper, well, now you're starting into the clan castle, and if it's a lava hound, then that fucks up your attack a lot. So yes, I started into this angle for the reasons I mentioned above. I wanted to get one of the scatter shots, which is a target of massive value that destroys balloons once it targets them. I wanted to get an enemy air targeting hero, which I would have had to invest a skeleton spell and headhunters in to knock out otherwise. And also, it created the good pathing to where this air sweeper's done. I can start out here, get the other two defenses early, and then fly around behind the sweeper, fight the CC as it comes, and then blimp the town hall because this is CWL and it's not really any logistic loon pathing that could lead to the town hall, so you'd bring a blimp for it. So okay, now we've established that we're going to SUI this section. How could you do it? So basic funneling, you all know what that is. You'd like cut off some sections over here, some sections over here, enough for your troops to go in here. So say like, okay, I could use like a P.E.K.K.A or some shit, for example, here, and then a baby dragon for here. Then there's a lot of defenses, so I could use my ice golem followed by my 3 heroes. That would get all that no problem. Yes, that could work, and would definitely get you the value, but it is actually more expensive than is needed. And so what I did wind up doing was I was thinking, okay, I just want this compartment. I don't need anything more. If we can get through all these defenses with just my BK and Archer Queen after funneling, the BK might die because he won't have tanking if I were not to bring an Ice Golem, but we just want this compartment. My Archer Queen can kill that entire thing with her ability, so maybe I don't need an Ice Golem, which is nice. But as to make the funnel cheaper, for this raid, pretty much at all times, I have Sneaky Goblins and Super Wall Breakers activated as my super troops. Though there are 3 super troops at the time of recording that work well with Lalo, which are the Super Wall Breaker, the Sneaky Goblin, and the Ice Hound. The Super Wall Breaker is pretty much mandatory to have in all regular war type circumstances. So it comes down to preference of do you want easier funneling with the Sneaky Goblin, or do you basically want an extra free spell and a little bit extra tanking with the Ice Hound? I like to go with the Sneaky Goblins. A lot of pros use the Ice Hound because it ultimately has more upside, but it's a lot harder to use. I will touch upon that in a later episode, but for pretty much every raid involved, except for I think 1, I have the Sneaky Goblins activated. So with all that being said, I use Sneaky Goblins to pinch off these funnels. Either that or I drop a couple balloons on this Archer Tower to kill out the gold mine. I don't remember. And I used a Yeti and a Wizard out here to clear out this whole section, which is just these buildings left with a Super Wall Breaker that would lead straight into here. BK and Archer Queen would kill this entire section, never trigger the clan castle, and then set up a good flight to start from over here. Let's look at all this in action. And yeah, I always like to bring 3 Lava Hounds if possible with my attacks, and at least 26 or 27 balloons, because that allows for the flexibility to, it's basically easier to cut off the buildings with the loon pathing, which I will be explaining more in depth in the next episode. So yeah, I cut off the side, and I'm using my BK to finish off this funnel. This area is all cleared, so I can draw my Archer Queen without worrying about her going over that way. And then here, the BK is taking lots of damage early, and it's looking like he's not going to make it longer. But since I only want this compartment, that's not really going to be a problem. The Archer Queen's finishing her stuff, and she's coming in now. BK is getting some last tanking in, and then she, by luck, lost into the scatter shot first, but it doesn't really matter. Gets through that, gets through the Inferno, and she still has a lot of juice left. And spoiler alert, she's going to wind up getting this Archer Queen, which I did not even plan for, but something that she'd love to see. So now the SUI is basically over once this queen dies, and let's look at what we've accomplished. This entire section of the base, gone. And instead of a ring, you now just have this consistent path of like a U shape of defenses that the balloons will fly around behind this air sweeper. And we have not triggered the clan castle, which is about to happen in like the next milliseconds, but that is a proper SUI technique on ring bases. The advantages of SUIing a town hall and other bases are that you don't have to fight through it because it's a very powerful defense. And then also you get to use your warden ability somewhere else, but that wasn't exactly possible due to the town hall placement on this base. So with that being said, let's go look at the next example. Round 4. I hit base number 6, and boom. So the whole Zap versus Blizzard versus Sui debate is something that I will slowly be elaborating on as the guide continues. But for now, I did this attack as a Zap Lalo, and what I did was I saw the Archer Queen over the scatter shot, and I zapped all of this with 8 zaps. If you're using zaps or Blizzard, when it comes to using your Sui, you want to use the zaps and the blizzards as part of a funnel point. That is usually what you do with your Royal Champion. I did not use her on the last attack for the Sui because I thought I found a different place to use her that was elsewhere, but that is extremely rare. Normally, I use the Royal Champion with the goal of helping funnel my heroes. So I zap all this, which allows me to use my Royal Champion into here with... There are 2 ways I could have gotten this value. I could have either I could have used an Ice Golem setting it into here, freezes the Inferno Tower, so my Royal Champion would clear all this with no external help. Or I could have used 1 Lightning spell and 1 Earthquake spell in here, and then just pop the Royal Champion ability, clears this whole thing except for the Expo. But since I already used 8 lightning spells, I don't have a whole lot of spells left, so I had to go cheap. So what I did was I brought an invisibility spell to use on my Royal Champion once the Inferno Tower locked on. So she clears all of this. I got a couple wizards trailing behind to clear out this section, and now let's look from there. I said before that you don't want to Sui the clan castle if you don't have to, but it worked well on this base because there is not a lot of other damage in the Town Hall compartment. Plus my BK can kill the Town Hall himself if I were to successfully wall break in here, the logistics of which I'll explain in a minute. So I figured, okay, even if it's a Lava Hound, that is worth the risk of me sending my heroes in there, because even if the Hound ties up my Archer Queen, she will fight through it and my BK can kill the Town Hall under ability, no problem. And I think I also brought an Ice Golem on this attack in case it was a Super Minion Headhunter CC combo, because while you can kill those much more quickly than you can kill a Lava Hound, they are much more dangerous power-wise and can basically vaporize any troop you have on it. So I figured an Ice Golem would have been good. I don't remember if I actually brought it or not, but now for the actual Sui logistics. So this compartment is down because of the zaps. This compartment, aside from these 2 buildings, are down because of the Royal Champion Invisibility Wizards combination. So I want to get to the Town Hall. Now, if you look at the way these walls are set up, you got 2 defenses in 2 compartments that pretty much are on one on each side of a Town Hall. And the way that Wall Breaker AI works is they will target the closest compartment with a structure inside. As long as either of these 2 Archer Towers are up, they will target the compartment that the Archer Tower is in, and not these set of walls, which is what we would want. So, in order to get your Wall Breaker into the Town Hall compartment, what I did was I waited for my Archer Queen to snipe off this defense, and then I'd cut off these defenses with the Sneaky Goblin and a couple balloons, and then once this Archer Tower went down, I could send the Super Wall Breaker right by this mortar, and it would go and hit like this wall piece, allowing for perfect access for my heroes. So let's review what we've gotten at this point. We would have this compartment done, this compartment done, this compartment done, leaving a good path of defenses. This one's shaped a bit more like an L, which is a bit more standard for your Lalos, or what you want. But what matters is that it's one clear path for all your balloons to travel along. So let's look at all this in motion. So I'm going to speed up a bit. I zap the Arch Queen and all this. Clears a lot of that, plus knocks her out. Makes it much easier for the flight. Then I send the Royal Champion with the trailing wizards. Funnel off these buildings. The Giant gives me like 5 seconds of tanking, which is great. Skeleton spell's a problem. Nope, using invisibility spell. She gets through all this easily. And now I still have her ability to pop where I want, which could get me a lot more value. So yeah. Then the clan castle comes out, and boom, it is a Lava Hound after all. But no fear, because I cut off these buildings. The BK he'd go the right way. After being momentarily distracted by the headhunters, the wall opens and then he heads in. And as I said before, there's really no DPS there. So while my queen is distracted on the Lava Hound, the king can just kill the Town Hall on his own without much of an issue. So, when you're a beginner, avoid the clan castle on your Suis if you do not know what's inside. But once you begin to understand how much your heroes can tank and how it would distract your Archer Queen, then it's an okay thing to do. But you gotta, it's something that you gotta warm up to. So when you're beginning, avoid the clan castle is what I'm saying. So let's look at what we got. You got most of this compartment, most of this, and most of this. And I am Laloing into the sweeper, yes. I will explain why when I cover the Lalo portion of this video because there is a reason for it. But you can see the path that was created. And yes, you could Lalo from this way too, and it would probably be an easier flight, but the one reason I didn't, I'll cover in another video. So, now we got that. Let's look in round 6. I tripled this base. And surprise, surprise, we got a teaser base. So, back in the days of the lightning spell working on the clan castle, well, maybe not on this particular base, but usually the clan castle would be right next to a scattershot or two on these teaser bases. So you could zap the clan castle and the scattershots, and then Sui the enemy heroes with like ice golems, headhunters, and your heroes, and then get the town hall and get a lot of value easily. But you can't quite do that anymore. Because this clan castle was on the outside of the base, I was able to snipe it with a few sneaky goblins and remove it entirely from the equation. And now I got a whole bunch of defenses I need to deal with. I got pretty much every target of value in this area aside from the Eagle Artillery. And it is difficult to fight it all on head on, but it is possible, and I'm going to show you how on this attack. So, these 4 enemy heroes plus scattershots, plus the 3 Infernos and the Town Hall inactivated, they will destroy everything in sight, unless you distract them and destroy them first before they lock onto your troops of value, aka your heroes. So what I did for this base was I have 2 Ice Golems and 2 Skeleton spells, and then no other funneling because there really isn't anything needed. Drop 1 Skeleton spell on each side to distract the heroes, followed by an Ice Golem, and then I think my Barbarian King and Archer Queen on this side, and Royal Champion, which I raged up to help her fight through everything here on this side, with a few Headhunters on each side to kill the enemy heroes. By the time the Ice Golem freeze wears off, all the enemy heroes should be down, which would make fighting through these defenses a lot easier since there's really nothing that is holding my heroes up. So, and then from there, really the only thing that you have to worry about is getting Lalo pathing, but this base is conveniently set up to where if you just remove this little bottom thing of defenses, it's a pretty decent flight path. So let's look at how this works in action. So yeah, 2 Ice Golems, 2 Skeleton spells, and a bunch of Headhunters. Start by sniping the clan castle. If you don't do that first, then you're in for a world of hurt. I let the goblins trigger some traps because better that they trigger it than my heroes. And then watch. You gotta do this all quickly. Skeleton spell, Ice Golem, heroes, Headhunters. Maybe I didn't do that fast enough. Skeleton spell, Ice Golem, Royal Champion, Headhunters, Rage. You'll see they'll fight through everything. The Royal Champion funnels off these top buildings on her own to where my other heroes won't go there. She's making it through here fine. Inferno locks on, so I burn a freeze. If you're using a style of Lalo where you can use multiple freezes, it's okay to burn a freeze in the Sui to get what you want. So AQ gets that and then snipes off the Town Hall. I use another freeze to attempt to get this scatter shot, but that doesn't work out too well, unfortunately. And I do fight through it on Lalo, but it's more difficult than I wanted to. But if you look on it, every target of value was got, and 25% was gotten with just those Ice Golems, the Rage, Skeletons, Heroes, and Headhunters. Yes, that is a big investment to get what doesn't look like a huge portion of the base, but it was really enough of the base to where everything else just gets overloaded. So after that, we're going to look at some of my CWO attacks in another clan, so hold it, hang on tight. What's up, y'all? We back, and now we are in Clashaholics. I got 2 of my other accounts, Ocean King and Aquaman CWO in here, also Champ 3. I'm doing pretty poorly by my own standards, which may or may not have cost us a win, but it's all good because there's still some good attacks to show. This time I won't just be showing my own attacks because we got another player, Afro Thunder, who's also killing it with Lalo a little bit this round. So he's going to get some love shown to him too. So with that, let's start with this one. This is another base that I hit, obviously, and another Zap Lalo. So I zapped the Archer Queen over this scatter shot, and then my goal for the Sui was once again get the Town Hall. Because with the Town Hall done, you could target your shit to where they fly through here pretty easily specifically. The specifics of which, again, I will explain in the Lalo video. But it got the pathing and objectives I wanted, which is what I'm trying to say. So I zapped the Archer Queen, and then how do I get to the Town Hall? This compartment would be a problem, right? Because there's a lot of defenses there that would make funneling difficult. So I got to remove it with my Royal Champion. And as I said before, there are two ways to do that. Either the Zap Quake Royal Champion trick, or B, send her in and make her invisible, and then yeah. So I did the Zap Quake Royal Champion trick on this one because I liked the way once I got this mortar down, I could just drop her here, spam her ability, and it would kill this, 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 and this without me really doing anything. Cheaper, it would have definitely been cheaper to do the invisibility method, but I didn't want to take the risk of her going to this wizard tower instead, and I also didn't want to accidentally pull the clan castle too early, so I went with the Zapquake shield, kills this entire compartment, wizards behind. And now I want my king to go into this compartment. Now I believe what I did was I sent a wall breaker to get to this corner because there are enough wall pieces going this way that this little opening won't make it, so the wall breaker here will not target this compartment. So if it was a smaller gap, then I would have actually had to funnel a hero in myself, but I don't believe I did, although it wouldn't have been too hard. Cut off this gold mine with a sneaky goblin, walk the BK through here, clear these buildings with my Archer Queen, and then the BK will go from this builder hut to the cannon, to the air defense, to the bomb tower, to the town hall. And then once that, let's just look at which one I did. Yeah, I brought the wall breaker, so I definitely targeted this wall, which makes sense because it's easier. And yes, I know, I suied into the clan castle again after saying not I wouldn't. It's because, again, there is not a lot of pure damage in here, especially with an ice golem in the tank. The BK could fight through all this shit by the time that my Archer Queen kills a prospective Lava Hound. I don't remember what was actually inside, but it looks like time got a little close on this one. They call me Quayitis for a reason. One zap here, he might have missed it, and then the other on there. Hit them both with the earthquake. That was definitely cheaper. Actually, yeah, that's why I went with the. Actually, never mind. I just be saying shit. So I snipe off that mortar to make sure my world champion targets what I want, and boom, she gets everything except the wizard tower because I just don't hit it with the zap. Distract the warden, and the wall breaker goes exactly where I said it would. Clan castle comes out a bit early, which is not ideal. But fortunately, the world champion snipes one of the headhunters, which is nice because it makes it easier for my other heroes. Oh shit, okay. So this is what I did. I sent the BK in there and used the Archer Queen to take out these buildings, so he would ideally go straight to the town hall. Now I believe this actually winds up having a bit of issues, but freeze poison the super minions because they're a bitch. And yeah, damn. The BK goes the wrong way, unfortunately. But, like I said before, there's only this one expo hitting him, and he will eventually go back to this compartment because as you can see, there's nothing that goes on outside here. What I should have done was made sure that wizard tower actually went down, so I wouldn't have had to worry about this scenario. But fortunately, it all worked out in the end. Barely by the looks of it. And now you look at what's left. You got mostly a clean Lalo path from here to up here. There are a few defenses in here, but I can target these with a stone slammer to cut the path to where they all just fly through here. So with that, next hit is by my good friend Afro. And on this base, every single one of you watching has probably seen this base before. He's doing a Blizzard Lalo. It's gonna, I think, land the Blizzard on here, kill this entire area because Blizzard's OP as fuck, and then trail behind with here, and then after that, well, let me just skip straight to that so you got a better visual. I'll explain the specifics of Blizzard in another episode. Don't worry, I have not forget about y'all Blizzard lovers, so I'll make sure y'all figure that out too. But that's what the Blizzard gets. It looks like a lot more percent than there actually was, but basically everything in the meat, excuse me, of the base. So with this, it's still basically kind of a ring base. Not really, because this compartment's down, but it's close enough to a ring base to where you want to remove all this stuff to make it an actual ring. And then this scatter shot is a target of high value that is within reach enough to where if you funnel out these stuff, you can send your heroes in here with the wall breaker and get the scatter shot, which is exactly what Afro is going to do. So yeah, the Royal Champion is clearing up some of this stuff, also funneling the heroes to go in here. One thing to always look for is you use your heroes to funnel each other, because it's the most efficient way to do it because you're not spending extra troop space, and also it just works out well. You got all that with basically a baby dragon and his 3 heroes, and they're going to keep going around here and getting more of the base. And you look at what he's gotten, 1 air sweeper facing practically nothing, and then a clean Lalo path, U shape all the way up through here. And if you look at the time left on the clock, it was a pretty smooth Lalo. That's how it is with Blizzard sometimes. Now we go to round number 3. I hit this base. Yes, I also did a Blizzard Lalo in this base. Landed my Blizzard in this compartment is, I'll just show you guys. But it's very similar. It's a very similar concept to the last attack. You nuke the center of the. Oh yeah, I'll cover that in a minute. You nuke the center of the base with the Blizzard. You nuke a portion of the base with the Blizzard. Use that Blizzard as one of your funneling points because you trail it with your balloons, baby dragon, whatever, to help make your hero path, and then you walk your heroes inside one of the directions created by the Blizzard, because the Blizzard cuts the ring itself. That's the other overpowered thing about Blizzard. Not just the fact that it does so much damage, but like its funneling potential. So yeah, Blizzard is done. This section of the base is done. And up here, you notice that I dropped a couple minions, and I'll explain what the purpose of those minions was shortly. But my goal is to Sui the Town Hall. So what I plan to do is send my Royal Champion in here, followed by a Wizard, to make it easier for my heroes to walk up here and then wall break into the Town Hall. Now, why did I take the Town Hall instead of going for the Eagle? Because look at all these storages down here. And then a lot more buildings over here that I would have to funnel. The Town Hall was the easier funnel because there's nothing up here. I could just use a couple of minions just to take this section out. And plus, I always like suing the Town Hall because if you look, there's an enemy Royal Champion and an enemy Archer Queen down here, which I would need to kill on the Lalo with Headhunters, which would be difficult, which would require my Warden ability, which, if I were to Lalo to the Town Hall, I would need my Warden ability for that. So I go through here so I can cut off the Town Hall and just save my Warden strictly for down here. So I send my Royal Champion. Kind of burnt the poison a little early, so not the entire clan castle isn't dead. I don't know what the fuck this ice golem is doing, but that was not normal. I remember I was doing this attack live, and I was watching the ice golem just sit there for no reason, and it was like, what the fuck is going on? But it basically removes my Royal Champion from the equation, which is fine because she wasn't supposed to do anything else. But I wall break up here, and it's just a very simple path to the Town Hall. The Sui just worked very, very nicely on its own. Real Champion is somehow still alive. And then Lalo's about to start. Pretend that this is all dead. Look at what you got. You got a bit of an L shape again. A straight path for the balloons to go. That's the path you are trying to create. Where the balloons really only got one option. They're not going to split up on you. And you can visualize where they're going to go without an air sweeper struggling through them. So with that, let's go on to the next raid. We had a lot of triples this war. We got Afro the Lalo God, and I believe this was a Zap Lalo where the Royal Champion is zapped on top of its scatter shots. And again, I believe he goes for the Sui the Town Hall because Actually, just for don't ignore what I said about the clan castle, but just remember that if it's a lava hound, you gotta gauge the risk. Can you if the lava hound comes out of that clan castle, can your barbarian king fight through and get what he wants on his own? In this case, yes. In every case I've showed you where they actually try to fight through a lava hound, yes. But if you're suing through a lava hound, don't expect a gigantic sui, is what I'm saying. So you zap all this, and the goal is the town hall. You funnel out this stuff down here, but you need, and also the walls here is enough walls. I forgot the exact number to where a wall breaker will just target here. Plus, they'll target this wall anyway because this archer tower and this cannon are in a separated compartment. So let's just go into the replay. There does not need to be a specific royal champion trick with like the lightnings or the invisible spells because this is a multi-inferno tower which doesn't do jack shit to heroes instead of a single which would kill your shit instantly. So it's okay for to let the RC fight through this naked on their own. So you zap all that and then does a bit of funneling to prepare the hero's path to the town hall. Sneaky goblins are so good. I really recommend y'all use them at the beginning. As tempting as the ice hounds may be, wait until you know what you're doing before you at an advanced level before you try that. So yeah, the thing about the clan castle is if you're gonna sui into it, use an ice golem so you can help alleviate, I think that's the right word, some of the damage to allow your heroes to fight through it easier. But fortunately, it was not in Lava Hound. This person had witches in there, which is really odd. But it allows the Archer Queen to join back. I used the balloons on this, or he used the balloons on this wizard tower to help make the heroes go straight to the town hall. And as you can see, gotten the value, gotten basically an entire chunk of the base for relatively cheap. And you still got that straight path. This one's not as clear as the last couple of raids, but if you could use a slammer in the middle, which based on this balloon is exactly what he's going to do, that cuts out this section to where it kind of makes it like a little curved straight line shape, curved singular line shape, curved straight line. What the fuck is wrong with me? But yeah, that's another Sui. That was round 4. Okay. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah. Okay, so round 4. I don't think Afro God tripled this round, but fortunately I got a 6-pack, which is lit. So, okay, this is another Blizzard, where I will explain why I Blizzard what I do in another episode. This is just showing how to build off the pure fundamentals. So, I landed the Blizzard here, killed this entire section of the base. I'll show you that real quick. This is probably the easiest type of Lalo, but also the riskiest because if your Blizzard gets trapped, you're kind of fucked, which has happened to me a few times. I don't like using Blizzard that often, but it's clearly powerful and probably a decent starting point. But yeah, the Blizzard's over, and this is the value that was gotten. This whole section of the base is gone. Remember, that creates a funnel on this side in its own. You use the Blizzard as a funneling point. Now, with this, I'm not going to lie, there's already pretty good Lalo pathing just on its own, but what I wanted to do was to sui this enemy world champion. Send the heroes here, funnel these with sneakies, and then this, excuse me, this section with the world champion, and then a wall breaker to help get more value. The clan castle is already dealt with because of the blizzard. That's one of the benefits of using a blizzard. If you land it next to the clan castle, oftentimes it will just get rid of the clan castle entirely on its own, to where some people aren't even bringing a poison spell anymore. But yeah, that's why suing into the clan castle works. But using the royal champion to funnel the other heroes, the hero to hero funnel is what I'm going to call it. It's a good thing to do once you figure it out. So it's a cheap way of pushing all these heroes in. And spoiler alert, the Archer Queen's actually going to get a shit ton and get the sweeper. I don't actually, yeah. I used a freeze in this World Champion because I saw that there's nothing on the Inferno Tower. Because I saw there's nothing else targeting my World Champion, and because of that, she would be able to get rid of the Eagle. That's not something I really planned for. It's just like a split reaction type thing. But as you can see, I literally got half the base with the Sui, and you got this smooth, clear path of where the balloons will travel afterwards. Textbook Blizzard. Now we look at base number 9, first hit with the Aquaman account. And this one, we're finally back to the old school Sui. So, the reason I always have a bias towards Sui in the Town Hall if it's available, something that I am trying to work on and get rid of so I can be more efficient elsewhere. But I Sui the Town Hall again, surprise, because it's just right there. And to do that, I gotta clear this section off with the Whale Champion. I could have, I guess, zapped the Archer Queen and the Scatter Shot, but I didn't because I saw another way. So the Whale Champion clears through here, trail it with the Wizard, funnel this off, and then the other heroes go through here, lead with the Nice Golem because the Clan Castle is right there, and then they should get the enemy Archer Queen, although if it's a Hound, that could be a bit iffy. I believe this attack was really sketchy, I just forgot, but let's see how it goes. A bit odd that I only brought one Sneaky. I would have thought that I would have brought more to this gold storage. A couple of days ago, so I sort of forgot, but okay, yeah, I just used a Baby Dragon to cut it off even more, because this dark Spell Factory had to go anyway. Cutting off this side at the beginning, and then, actually, I think what I do is I use the Ice Golem for here, because this is a lot for the World Champion to fight through. So to get the extra free, nope, my memory is not on points. But yeah, it's definitely a Hound, or not. Never mind. I should just shut up on everything because I clearly can't remember shit. So I freeze this, or no, it's, man, yeah, I told you all this attack was sketchy. The Sui worked funnel-wise, but the execution was terrible, and I had to burn a lot of freezes, but I did get the enemy Archer Queen out of it after all. But I had to waste my Skeleton Spell. This is a bad example, let me put it that way. If I were to redo this example, here, let me go back. If I were to re-hit this base, what I would do differently is, let's look. Yeah, so I would use tanking for my World Champion, and then freeze this Archer Queen earlier with some Headhunters as well, because there's no way I didn't anticipate that my World Champion would trigger the Archer Queen, because look at her radius. Sending the World Champion into an enemy hero's radius, not the Warden, but the other three, is extremely dangerous because she can't really handle any of them one-on-one. Usually when I'm doing that, I like to have a Rage and Skeleton Spells and, Headhunters, but it's still risky. So if I were to do this again, I'd probably lead with the Giants, Rage, or get an early Skeleton Spell here to distract all of this stuff, Rage the Royal Champion, and then trail some Headhunters in behind to kill the enemy Archer Queen. That's what I'd do if I was redoing it. Obviously, in a Zap Lalo or Blizzard Lalo attack, you don't have the spell space to invest that much in just your Royal Champion, but for this base, I think it would have been appropriate. Now, for the last base we're looking at in this episode, we are going to round number 5, and we're looking at base number 15, and surprise, surprise, another teaser base. Now, once again, there is a lot of value at the front. You got the enemy Archer Queen, 2 Scatter Shots, and the Town Hall. Enemy World Champions on this side for this one, but that's okay. So I go for the same method as I did in that one base a few bases back. 2 Ice Golems, Skeleton Spell to distract, World Champion, Rage on the BK, and then Headhunters to trail. I cut off these storages so my Archer Queen won't go away, and we'll get this Scatter Shot in the Town Hall easier. The World Champion will go into this Scatter Shot after the Town Hall is done. The only sketchy part about this is the presence of the Clan Castle right there, but it was a risk that I decided was worth taking because the BK would likely do all the tanking after the Ice Golems die, and they'd fight through the enemy heroes, which do the most damage out of everything here quickly. So even if it was a Hound or, God forbid, a triple Ice Golems, it would just make the raid take a lot longer, but it wouldn't affect my ability to get what I wanted. Maybe I just wouldn't get really anything on top of the Scatter Shots in the Town Hall, but that's fine because the Air Sweepers point to it and basically nothing, and then these Expos are all on ground. But I'm pretty sure it was like a soft CC again. But yeah, watch. This is pretty much a formula that can work on really any teaser base because Once you get all this, the pathing is amazing going down through here. It's really just a long, but a kind of like a weird curve, but like a small curve, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Basically, the takeaway is, in case I forgot to say it in every raid, always look for what your Sui is going to get pathing wise. That is the most important thing, because once you get good Lalo pathing, the rest of it is easy. But yeah, Skeleton spells to distract, followed by the Ice Golem. I did not use a Skeleton spell in the Barbarian King because the enemy World Champion is still over here, and I wanted to save that spell for her. But yeah, look at how much damage the Rage World Champion is doing. It gets through a lot, and then combined with the Archer Queen ability, they get through the Town Hall in like no time. The super minion almost fucks me and prevents me from getting the scatter shot, but I got it last shot, and because the sweepers went down, I would have been able to take it out with a couple wounds, or even the slammer. But now you look at it, this expo is about to just get sniped off. You got easy pathing down through the base, and a lot of targets taken out. So with that being said, I've been going for 41 minutes now, so I'm going to wrap up this episode. Thank you all for watching. Remember, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I love helping you all, and I want to keep doing it. And I hope you learned something from this episode. Soon I'll be getting the actual Lalo portion of this out to you, which is probably the part that more people need help on. So yeah, hope you're looking forward to that. And with that being said, have a great day. T-Quay out.